Welcome to this week's edition of the MMA Analysis podcast. We are back. We had our 2020 recap show. Now we have actual fights. The 4-week break going into it, I thought would seem like a really, really long time. Kind of crept up on me. An 8 a.m. Wednesday card next week. I don't know what to do with that. Because, unlike most MMA fans, I have a job.
Yep.
So that's a bit tough. But Sean, apparently hockey's back. I thought it was canceled, so that's good news. I'm happy for you.
So we just had to put a big border up at the border. All the Canadian teams are not allowed to enter America and get infected. All the Canadian teams have to play each other, and then they kind of did it regionally. But it's interesting. McJesus is back though, so all is well up here.
And he's a hockey player?
He's the GOAT. Well, he's not the
That's
GOAT.
not true. That's not true
He's
at
the
all.
great.
I thought that was the Gretzky
But
guy.
he's
I thought it was Dustin Johnson's father-in-law was the best. Is that not true anymore?
He
Oh,
is.
so
Did
you're
I
a
ever
liar.
tell you guys that my mother-in-law went on a couple dates with Gretzky back in high school?
You did not tell us that.
Well,
Yeah.
she
Damn.
missed out.
That's
She really fucked that one up, didn't she?
Yep.
That was
That's
not a
tough.
wise decision.
But you're here,
Uh,
Brad, so it
yeah.
ends up all right.
Yeah, I know it didn't work out for anybody.
Just a miss all around. Brad, how are you doing? You got a bandana on?
That's right. It's called a buff.
A buff?
And,
What is that?
And we're not talking about my body here. But yeah, I just thought I'd rock a little hood look for the start of 2021. Because we're gonna go rob the bookies or something like that.
I have a-
That's a
Still down
Ukrainian hood
sleeveless.
look.
I have I don't buy stuff from Barstool, but they had this mug, this big ass mug. I like big mugs because I like pots of coffee in my mug. And it just says "Kill your bookmaker." So I like to hold that mug while I'm on video calls, and it doesn't say bookie; it says bookmaker, which really throws people off. So I like to put that on video calls. Wes, how are you?
I'm here, man. Yeah, ready to break down
Look
this
at
first card.
He's so happy that he switched from a Kentucky hat to a Browns hat.
Yeah, this is a one time only.
We are pulling out the dusty hats from a while back. Pretty
How
good.
are you a Browns fan? Has anybody asked you this, Wes? I know you like random teams.
Yeah.
But why the Browns?
The Browns, because I kind of my grandfather moved to Chicago when I was really young, so I kind of followed the Chicago sports teams. I never really had, because we don't have pro sports teams, but once the Browns moved and drafted Tim Couch from Kentucky, I was like, that's gonna be
That makes sense.
that's going to be my team. And then they killed Tim Couch. They absolutely obliterated Tim Couch.
Usually when you ask
He's
someone,
buried under the dog pound somewhere.
so usually when you ask someone why they like a team and the answer is a certain player, it's like Wayne Gretzky or like these big times. No, Tim Couch. I started hot.
Well, I mean, for me, I didn't have a local team, so I kind of was, I growing up, I liked the Bears and the 49ers. Like, I was Joe Montana fan. I love the 49ers and then the Bears because of my grandfather. But, I mean, they was an expansion team, too. That was like a new team. So I was like, I'm going to go with my boy Timmy Couch. And I'll tell you what, Tim Couch could have been good if he went to an actual fucking team. Yeah, that guy was good.
You sound like me talking about Joey Harrington.
No.
Very similar compared. Harrington was
no.
better than Couch.
Are you
Harrington was way
fucking
better than
serious?
Couch.
No,
Yeah.
dude, you might look up some history. No, Tim Couch was fucking good, bro. Yeah,
At what?
Joey Harrington had a billboard in Times
Seriously?
Square.
seriously,
What about that?
seriously.
They're
Tim Couch was
both-
very fucking good.
They're both really terrible.
Joey Harrington was pretty fucking bad.
Joey Harrington was
They both.
a great college player.
Mhm.
He was Oregon, right?
Yep. They had a bunch of good quarterbacks back then that all sucked once they got to the NFL. Like Oregon had a few good quarterbacks back in the day.
Nothing's changed.
Mhm.
Mariota. All right. Well, I should probably pull the card up. But one thing before we jump in, and I guess we don't really have a lot to recap, obviously. But Toutmaster signups are ongoing. What year is this now? Like 8? Something like that?
It's not quite that.
No,
Like
like,
6 or 7.
I think it's like fifth or sixth. 5, 6. Yeah.
Oh, whatever. But yeah, Toutmaster's back. Hopefully we get a good crowd this year. So that'll come back. That's a $50 buy-in. If you're interested, reach out to Jeremy. What's his
Isn't
fake
Toutmaster
Twitter?
Moras.
the Gamble Master.
Yeah.
Toutmaster's 50. The Gamble Master's 100.
I sent Jerry too much money.
Yeah, tout 50.
It was in no, it doesn't count.
Yeah.
The quarter Gamble Masters are 50. Then the year long is.
That's
100.
what it is. Gamble Master year long is 100.
Yeah.
Right.
So Gamble Master is you can
Yeah.
bet whatever the hell you want, and it just keeps track for either a 3-month or a year game. And then Tout Master is favorites are 1 point if you get them right. Dogs are 1 times whatever the line is. So like plus 200 is 2 points, and you just add up scores all year, and we make careers in this gambling industry off of Tout Master.
Our Tout Master pods are bigger than what any of these fucking actual touts make in an entire year. Like last year, I think first place was 15.
That's not hard to do, Wes, when they've lost 40 units.
I mean, could you
true.
imagine Kelton making 1,300 Kelton units in one fucking year?
It's a lot. It's a lot of Keltons. Have you guys seen what our boy Ben's been doing? He's down like 39 units in the first 12 days of January.
That's such a shame, man. I don't.
He's like,
wanna pay
tough
him.
streak.
I don't want to pay
But,
him, but I'm
Like,
losing
how
out
old are
on
you?
so much
25
money.
years?
He actually started the hockey season off 1-0, so
Hot.
Ooh.
he's hot.
Oh, he took Philly. I took.
No, he played
That's why.
the over in
the
the
over
in the first
Philly.
game. Yeah.
So I didn't think about this before in the show, but when are we going to cover Wednesday AM card?
Oh, like Monday?
Monday.
We're going to do 2 shows?
Yeah. Monday,
What was
Thursday.
why don't we just do a bang bang tonight? Let's knock them
Because
both out.
I'm gonna have the same amount to say, regardless of if we talk about it
I
now.
haven't made any bets because I'm assuming
Oh.
like 4 fights are gonna fall through.
I don't.
This,
I don't need.
this
I
is
don't
where me
look
and Brad
at
have an
it.
advantage.
I don't.
This is
look
where
at
me
it.
and Brad have an advantage. We don't look at the card until 10 minutes
You
before the
ain't
show.
got nothing better to do than do fucking 2 podcasts next
that's
week.
why I
Yeah,
wanna
tell
do
my
it.
wife.
I literally don't look at the card until like the week of because there's no
No.
reason to
Yeah,
anymore.
because there's so many cancellations.
I haven't looked at the card. I was just saying I can make it up as we go. But all right. I mean, that'd be a lot of fights in one day. I'd probably get tired.
It would be like a 7-hour show.
Yeah. Well, we're not doing any recaps. So maybe
That
on
helps.
the podcast we do Monday, we can do a recap on that. And then we can, okay, we're good. Let's do 2 shows next week.
We got it.
That makes more sense. All right. Well, what else do you guys want to talk about before we break this down?
Just more depressing news in
Pat
MMA.
Miletich.
Oh,
Well, that's
God.
not a
Miletich.
sad thing. That's a good thing. Him getting
I-
fired.
I saw people tweeting, I'm not going to watch LFA anymore. Really?
Nobody
You were
cares.
watching because of
Oh.
Pat?
Yeah, he brought you in.
So like
Got to draw a line.
the Kentucky, the basketball team fucking did the kneel thing last week after the shit happened. And man, some of the rednecks, like there's a sheriff down in one county and the jailer and shit, where they're like burning their shirts and shit. And it's like, how racist you gotta be to be like, I ain't watching those black boys anymore just because they kneel. Like, shut up. And you know they the first motherfuckers that were on their couch Saturday afternoon with that shit on, dude. I'm so tired of that shit.
And they would give all those players handies to win a championship. The
Yep.
whole of them, down the line, just all the way through, back to the pile.
Well, like Rex Chapman made a good point though too. He's like, do you not think that like Coach K and Bill Self and them aren't rolling this shit out when they go recruit against Kentucky? You don't think they aren't sitting in living rooms with mothers of black players? Like, why would you go to that racist ass school? Look at them; they're burning their jerseys and shit. Like, yes, like you're actually making it harder to win when you do this.
Asking for shitty teams.
Yep.
People aren't very smart, but the Browns though won a playoff game. That's some news. That
And
was
we're
great.
gonna get crushed.
No,
it was
keep
good
it
for a
going.
week. It was good for a week.
Keep it going. Yeah, NFL playoffs are fun. There's some fun games this weekend, so that'll be good. Bunch of UFC. Yeah, it's been good. It's been good. Basketball is a shit show. Betting basketball is interesting. You never know who's playing. You never know if the game's going to happen. It's fun. It's fun. I'm really enjoying it.
There's been some crazy underdogs winning straight up.
In the NBA?
Yeah.
I go really light in NBA. I'll maybe bet a game in NBA, and then I'm like 2-3 in college. I'm on a crazy college streak right now, though, so that's going to crash and burn like super quick.
I usually don't touch anything like pregame in NBA. You just watch the flow of the game and usually touch halftime or something like that. Because, yeah, especially now with all the players missing and no preseason and shit, it's bad. Now you got Brooklyn. It's just going to be like,
yeah. Well, there was a game there. It was the Nets game like a week ago, and there was this profit boost on DraftKings. It was like 100% profit boost, and they do these all the time. They just basically hand you money.
Free money. Yep,
yeah. So I took a net. Nets were like a 3.5 point favorite, and I took the Nets. It was like -130. I did the profit boost. So I got this huge plus like 180 on or whatever. And then like an hour later, it was like Kyrie out, Durant out, and I was like, oh, this is great. So they had no players, and the Nets still won by 20 without any other. I was like, if that's not NBA ever, the two best players not, and I knew Durant was probably not going to be played, but then Kyrie was out, and I was like, shit. And then they still they blow them out on the road, and it's like that's kind of NBA. So I stick, way more to college, but I need action. I need action.
What else are we doing right now? I mean, what the fuck?
I can't go a day without 3+ bets.
So I can't just burn money on NBA betting.
I can't go more. I have to have at least 3 bets every day, 365 minimum. You got 2, but cool. Well, I guess we can jump into this. Maybe this will be a short show. It won't be 2 hours. I can say that because there's some not great fights on this card. So this could be a 45-minute show.
It's a bit surprising for their like comeback first card of the year.
ABC
in Abu Dhabi on ABC, and it's not that good of a card.
I'm working on a collaboration with King Casey. We're gonna do new intro song for the UFC now that they're on ABC. All right, it's to the tune of ABC by Jackson 5, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'll show you what we got so far. So
save that for the thou who shall not be named in the greatest fighter of all time main event in that upcoming card.
That one's not going to be on ABC though.
It's deserving of a theme song though, right? Like greatest fighter of all time and the fighter that shall not be named main event. Like imagine giving that guy a main event already. Like
who are you talking about?
The greatest fighter of all time.
Yeah,
fighting the fighter with no name.
Champion.
I don't know who these people are.
He's going to be welterweight and middleweight champion.
Your literal favorite fighter.
I know that's why I
Your
said
two
who.
favorite fighters.
I said who. Come on, keep up. Who? That's actually my birthday weekend.
Oh yeah. Congrats.
Don't worry, that fight's getting canceled anyway. It's going to be Khabib Tony too. I hope it just keeps getting postponed and they want to book it so neither of them never fight
again ever.
That's right. And then we'll just live with the hype that was both of those guys, and nobody will ever have to fight them, and it's good.
Our boy Lou, I think, is kind of shimmied off of the fighter with no name over to the Bronx bandwagon now, Lance. You might want to watch out. Might want to keep him in check, dude.
Who's not in the Do Bronx bandwagon? Our boy Aaron said today. I think he interviewed Dana today, and he said that Dana said something about that could be Do Bronx ending the career of one Conor McGregor.
Dana also said that there's going to be more than 4.5 fighters in the women's featherweight division too. So he's good at
That's true. I mean,
we talked about that, how that would play out, the McGregor-Poirier winner, Do Bronx possibly getting them by the end of the year. I think we talked about that last week.
like as much as I want it to happen, I need it to happen. It's supposed to happen. I just can't see Dana White shutting the cage and locking his boy in with Bronx. That just seems like a bad business
It ain't
move.
gonna happen, man. McGregor's gonna fight Pacquiao this year if he wins. If he beats Poirier.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
That'll make him way more money than the UFC.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and jump into this bad boy. So to say with the not great card, considering it's the first ABC one and the first fight of the year, the main card is perfect for a network kind of thing. If you look at the fights and you look at the names, you know, you got Buckley who's coming off the crazy fight. You got Ponzi, Jingliang, which is going to be a war. You got Condit, which is a big name, and they're probably just going to stand. And then you got Hollway, Kattar. So I mean, it's not a bad free card. Like it's pretty bad. The prelims.
The prelims is what.
I could use some work. There's one good fight on the prelims. Carlos Felipe.
Tafa?
God, that's
going to be. I don't even know if that qualifies for Fatty's going to Fatty. I think it's got to be supposed to go.
Like, shit bag, yeah.
No, that's not good. But all right, let's start off in the featherweight division as we have Jacob Kilburn versus Austin Lingo. So after 4 weeks off, we have no Wikipedia versus no Wikipedia. Sean?
Everybody wants to fight.
Everyone wants to fight. We're beating them all.
Everybody wants to go to Abu Dhabi. Everybody wants
Real
to
quick.
fight.
Speaking of nobody wants to fight, we only got good fights. Did you see who got another fight? I forgot her name. She's a chick. She loses a lot. Oh my God.
The one that lost 4 times last year?
Yes, she's fighting again.
Oh, Hannah Cyphers?
Yes, she's got another fight.
Another
she's
fight?
Yes, I swear to God,
man.
Dude, everyone wants to fight. They're beating fighters like out the door, like get out of here. They hit them with brooms. Like everyone wants to fight. Who is she fighting?
Good business sense. Going there and like not really do much but stall and get paid fucking $15,000. You got to do it 5 times a year when you're making money like that.
Well, yeah, when you're not making your win bonus ever.
She's fighting a girl with a 500 career record. Hannah's gonna win this one. This is gonna be the greatest comeback ever.
Emily Whitmire is probably gonna tap fucking
no.
Cyphers.
Whitmire's gonna beat her.
Yeah,
yeah, dude.
Yep. Imagine, dude, they're so deep right now in these women's divisions, and people want to fight so bad that Cyphers went 0-4 last year and got finished in all 4 fights, and she's getting a 5th fight because she's just a fan favorite. It's like if Carlos Condit lost 4 in a row, he's getting that 5th. Same thing with Shockwave. Hannah Cyphers.
Has there been anybody that has lost 5 in a row in the UFC?
What about Jessica?
There was one
close. I think she lost like 5 of 6 or something like that.
Yeah, but there's a win in there. I'm talking 5 straight. So you don't get cut after losing 4 in a row.
There was
and
one.
Lose again.
It might have been 5 straight for her, dude. Look
Steve
up.
Cantwell. Steve Cantwell, if I recall.
That was 4, I think.
I thought it was. I'm Googling
or
it now.
I think one of the losses might have been.
Oh, he went 1-5
just before he came back. Yeah, because Steve Cantwell armbarred it.
Yeah. Jessica lost 5 straight. She actually lost. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And they got a title fight.
She lost like 6 of 7. Lost 5 straight. Lost to Misha Tate, Panay, McCann, Korea. Yeah,
I believe the record.
Josh
Any
Berkman.
Guesses?
Josh Berkman had 2 5-fight losing streaks.
Okay. But consecutive, it's BJ Penn.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
What about Nick
7
Diaz?
losses in a row.
What about Nick Diaz?
No, we can't count that because you're talking Nick.
Nick.
Yeah.
Nick or Nick? Yeah. I mean, he has wins though that were overturned. No, I mean, do we count that as a loss?
Yes.
No.
If he lost the fight, he lost the fight.
He just never fights. I don't think he's lost that many in a row.
He hasn't won in like 12 years.
But he never fights. He's lost 2 in a row. He's only lost 2 in a row. I mean, I guess he lost Anderson Silva, so 3 in a row. But he never fights, so that's why. He's a
giant loser, though.
But did he really
big
look
time
against
loser.
Anderson Silva when he
No, he
laid
did.
down the center
No,
of
he
the
did.
cage? It was,
No, he did.
No.
He's gonna fight in
I gotta pull
2021. I believe it.
I gotta pull up this Berkman thing. It's
Sean's number of like what 4.5 Diaz fights or something like that in
No,
2020.
it was 2.5, over 2.5.
wow.
You better
Berkman
hope
had
Nate 3 times.
They're looking.
Is there like
trying to
is
book
there a
me?
third Diaz brother we don't know about or something, Sean?
Yeah, I didn't say they had to be related to the fucking Diaz brothers. I just said Diaz's, right?
Oh man.
So Berkman at one point lost 7 of 8 fights
In the UFC.
in the UFC. If you count, so the first one was his first fight back. He lost to Hector Lombard. He was overturned to a no contest, but he lost the fight.
He lost.
So he lost to Lombard, Kim, Cote, beat KJ Nunes, and then he lost to Felder, Zach Otto, Prazeres, Dober, and Moreno. And then he got cut, went to LFA, and lost to William Macario. And then he retired. What a
Those
loser.
are bad losses in hindsight.
But regardless, he lost 7 of 8 fights, and they just kept bringing him back. And then apparently he had another 5-fight lose. No, that's not right. That's what it said, but it wasn't. He had a 3-fight losing streak, 4 of 5.
Yeah.
4 of 5.
You know why they brought him back though, Lance?
Because for Ariane.
No, because he's the people's warrior, man. People need their warrior.
I think Hannah Cyphers is the new People's Warrior.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. New Sean.
Shockwave.
New Sean.
I don't have
Austin Lingo.
I don't have much here. Kilburn was an absolute punching bag, just getting absolutely crushed by Billy Q until he got choked out. I don't think much of Lingo, but he seems to have beat a little bit better guys on the regional scene, and I think he can finish this guy, but I don't want to bet it.
Brad, check out Jacob Kilburn's Sherdog picture, and then ask yourself, could you beat this guy up if you ran into him in the street?
Yes. I haven't looked at it yet.
100%. Like, if you just look at this guy's picture, you're like, I don't care what that says. I'll fuck this guy up. Like, that's not even, like, I will fuck this dude up. Look how he's, like, holding his arms. Like, it's like he's got, like, he's, like, a bit retarded, like, but not, like, full. Like just a tablespoon. Like, yeah, just like a dabble of downs. A dabble of downs. Like, doesn't he just look like this should be like? How did he get a license when he's like this? This is his picture like this. You want to fight me? You want to fight me? That's what I'm seeing here, Brad. So what do you got in this one?
How did he get a driver's license as well? You know, with those limp
We don't know if
wrists.
he has a driver's license. We don't have that kind of information.
Oh, do you want me to break this down?
Yeah, you got it, Brad. It's all you.
It's up to you.
He looks like he's really not good and shouldn't be in the UFC. And Lingo's not great, but I think he wins this fight. And when he wins fights, he tends to do it very quickly. Kilburn gets hit by a lot. He gets subbed by guys I've never heard of. So I think Lingo can get him out of there pretty quickly. So I got a little bet on Lingo round 1. But even if that doesn't hit, Lingo inside the distance plus 175, I'll probably throw a bet on that as well.
Yeah, Wes.
Yeah, I think this could almost look, a lot like the Billy Q fight against Kilburn. I think Lingo's gonna put it on him. Brad's right. He starts fast. He gets a lot of guys out of there in the first round. I don't know if it's going to be first round. I kind of was looking just more at the under to kind of, have an out in case Kilburn does something stupid and catches something. But I haven't bet anything yet. But I like Lingo. Lingo inside the distance, probably a good shout at that price. And I'm probably going to put a little bit on the under just to be safe.
Yeah, this Kilburn, there's a lot of gold in this Sherdog page. The picture, obviously, just the whole thing. Like, it almost seems fake. Even like the shirt. What is that? And why is he holding his hands? He's like all like weird. And then like, I don't know. It's not a good look. But what he does have to his advantage is the guy is training with absolute killers at Harris Holt Combat Sports. It's
right.
just a fight.
It's on Tennessee represent.
It's a fighter factory. They're just turning out champs left and right. But I don't know how this guy even got to the UFC. So he got on Contender Series. He got in Contender Series by beating the same guy twice. One by split, one to decision. That guy has lost 8 straight fights. So then he got into contender and got choked out by Bobby Moffitt. And then he beats two scrubs, more at Square Ring Promotions Island Fights 58. And then he got another shot. And then he gets the shot in the UFC and gets absolutely manhandled. And now, because they can't find any fighters, he's fighting again. I don't need to know shit about Austin Lingo. I don't think Austin Lingo is great. I think he's okay. He definitely fought a much tougher guy. Well, Billy Q is good, but he's fought a tough guy and survived in his first fight. He had way better competition fighting in LFA. I like Lingo here. I like him to finish this fight. Kilburn is a punching bag. I think he ends up getting dropped. Lingo gets him to the ground and gets the sub. So I know this is going to be shocking. We're starting first fight of the year is actually going to be Munich. So we're taking Lingo inside the distance plus 170 for Munich. Yep, right there. Jacob Kilburn, the killer. Next up, women's bantamweight division. Everyone wants to fight. Sarah Moras versus Vanessa Melo. This is what brings the fans to Fight Island.
How are they not putting this on a pay-per-view, man?
16 and 14 combined.
How is this on a pay-per-view? How the fuck?
So where are these ladies ranked in the
chicks lost 3 straight.
Where are they ranked?
Moras has won 2 out of like 7. What are we doing?
This is just quality stuff. Quality stuff.
Yeah,
it's good fights.
It's
fights.
Horrible. The crazy thing is Moras is 6-6 and she's like a minus 220 favorite. But I do think she wins. I would not lay that kind of juice on Sarah Moras. Melo is fucking horrible, but so is Moras.
Who are these people?
Who are these people? I mean, Moras, we know who she is. She's cost me some money in the past by getting one armbar in the first round somehow. Yeah, I don't really care about this fight. Moras should win a boring decision.
Bradley?
I also don't care, but anybody who is laying minus, what is it now, 220, 230 on Moras, who can't wrestle and can't strike, but has a jiu-jitsu advantage here. I mean, I hope you get your head in arms, because
that's tough. That's tough. Yeah. Wes, you got anything here?
Man, this is bad. Moras should win her by decision. That's all I got.
I didn't get that much. I got a little bit less than Wes. One of these ladies, maybe both, is going to bring it.
Do you want to be a fucking fighter? We will find out.
She has gone, Melo has gone 10 straight fights to decision.
Hell yeah.
This
website hates me. This website fucking hates me.
150 straight minutes of shitty fighting. And yes, this website does hate you. Moras is never.
What? I'm on
stoppage, I think.
Why is it always you?
I am on video calls. Well, I'm on video calls 8 hours a day, and then I get on this thing and this stream.
This site runs some RAM or some shit on your computer, because my kind of cheap laptop will not run this shit. It runs other sites fine. This thing just completely kills it. This site.
Why don't we use something better, Sean?
This is the best of the best.
This
doesn't work.
This is free. We could do it. It's just the only thing that this has is it's easier for the comments and stuff like that. Like we could use Skype. It's just you won't see comments and shit like that, or else you'll have to have the YouTube thing open on your computer. We can do that.
This thing hates me. It hates me.
But only sometimes.
That's because you're walking around your house while we're recording.
No, I moved to see if it worked better.
It looks perfect now.
You
actually got a good clear picture and everything now.
Yep.
Fuck this website. I'll be on calls with like 500 people on video. Works perfect. I joined this stupid motherfucker with 4 people. It's like fucking death. Sometimes I'll do like a speed test. Like, my internet's fucked up. It'll be like 150. I'm like, why does this site hate me? What is wrong?
It's not the speeds, it's your computer.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I got a Dell.
That doesn't mean much.
I just wanted to say,
it depends on what's inside the Dell.
I don't know. It's a piece of shit, but it works. I think it works. Should I get a new one?
We can discuss.
Anyway, these ladies are going to bring it. That's my only prediction because the ladies always bring it. That's all I got. Nothing. Who should I pick in Toutmaster?
Real early in the night for the dog walk fight of the night. Might still be light out by that point.
Yep.
Ooh.
You're gonna get
this
card's
card's
an
early.
afternoon card.
Yeah, this card's early.
Yeah, I
It
know.
starts at like noon, doesn't it?
Wow,
Oh,
it's early.
Damn.
It's early.
Okay, that's
all right.
football fucking Saturday, man. What are they doing?
I don't have shit to do. What you got? What are you doing?
Taking the dog for a walk.
What are
You
you
said
doing?
that.
I got nothing. I got nothing to do. All right, let's keep going here. Oh God. All right, David Zawada versus Ramazan Emeev, Russia. You, Sean?
Russia.
Boring Russia.
Very boring Russia.
Is very boring. He's an okay fighter. He's a lot better than Zawada. I think he keeps it standing. It's going to be a boring striking contest. I put Emeev in a parlay with Warley Alves before his fight got canceled. So I got 1 unit straight on Emeev.
I was going to smash either one of those Warley lines.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know why that guy got so disrespected. That's wild.
Well, don't they have another line? Isn't he fighting, or did that get pulled too?
Warley?
They did a replacement fight, but now
He's
gone too.
fighting Munir Lazez now, and he's a almost plus 200.
Yeah,
On it.
Which
Munich.
that's wild.
That's Munich for sure.
What are they doing? Did Warley like lose his nuts or something? Like, what the fuck are we doing here?
And he's not old.
No.
Plus 185 right now.
Against the guy who got beat up for a round against Al Hassan before he gassed.
And then pulls off something crazy. Yeah. Yep. Warley's fucking
that makes
2-1.
next week's selections a bit easier as long as it
there you
stays
go.
together.
Spoiler alert, kids, until it gets canceled.
Do you notice they're here lately? I've seen that there's these newcomers that get some kind of flashy fucking finish against like nobodies, and then their next fight, they're massive favorites. That's another one.
You mean like Joaquin Buckley?
Yeah.
Was that didn't
I'm
finish
gonna-
anyone.
I'm
that
gonna
was,
get
that was
that-
even a decision. He
I'm
didn't
gonna
knock
get
him
that
out.
dude. I'm gonna get that dude. It ain't gonna be this week, but I'm gonna get that dude.
Eventually.
Yep.
I was hoping he was going to fight Kraus, but that didn't happen.
Brad, did you pick yet? I don't recall.
On
throw it to the
Zawada
first
and no, West didn't even get a chance to pick this one.
Do I go
I'm
West
throwing it to
second?
you
I blacked
first.
out. West?
I can go. I think Sean's right, and I think Emeev should probably win a boring decision here, but I mean, I think this line's a little bit too high on Emeev here. Zawada looked decent last time out against an okay guy. I mean, if Zawada can do anything close to like Tony Martin did against Emeev, like this line's just a little off for me. I'm not saying I'm gonna bet Zawada. I'm probably gonna pick him at Toutmaster, and man, I was looking at him by decision as like around plus 600 or something like that. That's just a little crazy to me. This is going 15 minutes, and man, plus 550, plus 600 for Zawada to maybe grab a couple rounds here. I mean, it's possible with the judging, man. So no bet for me yet, but if I bet anything, it's going to be Zawada by decision. I believe it's like plus 575 or something like that.
Brad?
Wes, he has only won one decision in the last 8 years.
I get it, but Emeev doesn't fight. He doesn't fight those kind of fights.
I know.
This is going to be it.
He doesn't fight.
Yeah, exactly. This is going to be a distance with dudes taking pot shots and shit, and it could get close. You could see some funny judging in this fight.
We should ban Russian fighters.
The Russian guy is very boring, and I don't really care about watching him fight. I can see him probably pushing Zawada up against the cage and maybe getting a takedown or two. I know Sean thinks it's going to stay on the feet. It could happen there. I just think he's a little bit more danger if it's on the feet because Zawada, he's German, right? Or something like that.
He is.
Yeah, he kind of reminds me of his Aryan brethren, Peter Sabata, but without any sort of ground game.
And the Nazi shit, right?
Yeah, and the Nazi.
I mean, I can confirm or deny that.
That's
For Zawada.
I'm not making those assumptions.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. With Wes especially, like I think the line is a little bit off, but I can't really bet David Zawada. Like, I can't. But I don't think Emeev is very good. And we're at the point with MMA gambling where you're almost always going to get value betting against Russians. Like it's almost getting to that point where almost every single line on a Russian, it's like everyone thinks they're like it's Khabib. Maybe because the Americans are stupid.
So why did it last time out? His very last fight, he did the same shit.
Khabib's cousin or whatever that bullshit. But like maybe it's because Americans are stupid. Yes, we are very dumb. Maybe we actually think all these guys are Khabib. Like, we can't pronounce these names. Like, how am I supposed to know this isn't Khabib fighting? It's all I see is Mother Russia, and there's vodka spilling everywhere. And, like, I don't know. I'm not very smart. I'm not supposed to know this kind of stuff. So maybe that's it. Maybe everyone just thinks everyone's Khabib. And we're probably going to see the same things from guys from, like, Africa, right? Like, we see those guys are coming in and fucking murdering people, right? Like, you know, Ngannou and Usman and, like, you know, all these so deep, like all these Adesanya, all these guys. Now it's gonna we're gonna see these like broke dick motherfuckers from Africa that they're gonna come in, throw these like looping punches, like oh shit, minus 400 versus veteran guy who's gonna whoop his ass. MMA fans have a very short, MMA bettors especially have a very very short term memory, and they kind of put everyone in the same pocket. I did this too with wrestlers, like Division I wrestler, bang bet. It's the same thing with Russians, same thing with people from Africa. Now it's coming where we're seeing these inflated lines constantly. But with that said, David Zawada sucks. So I might pick him in Toutmaster, but I just don't think that's a fight I'm willing to put some money on. Yep. So let's now move on.
Oluwalsi Bambosi was
Bang Bus.
A 2-1 favorite against Mutanch because he knocked somebody out.
Oh, Bang Bus. Yeah, it's true though. You know, we put these groups of people together in the fighting world and think they fight similar. It makes absolutely no sense that just because one guy from Russia is good, the other one's good. And I think with Russia it's even more confusing because they're all the same guy, just with a different name and level of skill. But they all the same thing. They're gonna push you against the cage. They're gonna lay on you. They're gonna be safe. They're never gonna go into mount. They're never gonna take your back. They're going to sit in the half guard.
Very few Russians that throw down. Like seriously,
yeah, it's really weird. Russia seems like a violent ass country. Like I
mean, when you're fucked up on vodka, I guess you just grab a guy and fall down on him, and
I guess. But yeah,
there are some Russians that fight. Peter Yan fights.
Yeah.
Little
Fedor.
Well,
we're
going back to he's like one of the greatest fighters of all time. Brad's like, Fedor fights.
Yeah. It is rare. I can think of Jan. There's one other Russian guy that throws. Who am I thinking of?
The one dude that's in the UFC too. Is it Taisumov or one of them that he throws?
No, that's not him. He does. I think he's gone now. I can't think. There's one person I can think of that throws down. I don't remember who it is. I will think of it.
The cat in Bellator is pretty fucking awesome too. He kind of does a little bit of everything. I can't remember his name now. He just beat somebody for the title, didn't he?
Are you talking about Nemkov?
Nemkov, yeah. Nemkov is he's pretty fun.
Isn't he?
No, he's Russian.
He's from around there. It's all the same.
Yeah, it's all the same. I mean, Putin's gonna have it. He's gonna have it all back eventually. I mean,
Shlemenko does throw down.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
There's not much there, man. I just looked through the rankings. There's not that many Russians that throw down.
Yeah, Russia sucks.
Lance is fed
Fedor
up
is
with
a
Russian talk. Did Lance's internet break, or is he just full ET over there? Like, no,
This is fucking awesome. He's
his
frozen in the
internet,
best
bro.
possible fucking. There we go. Oh fuck! That
I
was
swear
good. I
he
couldn't
looked
believe
like-
that.
For those who are listening and not watching, Lance was frozen, but in a position where he looked completely attentive yet uninterested.
Yeah, very disinterested, but
Yeah.
sure.
And then we weren't sure if he was just listening and giving us the silent treatment
He
for talking
looked,
about Russians.
Holy fuck.
he looked exactly how you think Lance would look if we were sitting here talking about
Talking
Russians
about some
throwing
shitty
down.
Russians. Yeah.
Oh man,
That was
There he
good,
is.
Lance. That was so good. You should listen to the pod. It was
Yeah.
a good talk with you gone.
You
I don't
froze
understand.
perfectly.
I don't understand. I don't get it. I'm making the executive decision. Sean, find something better for me. This isn't working out.
I will do that, sir.
Your face froze in like the perfect spot of I really don't give a fuck that
You're
we're
just,
talking
like, sitting
about
there like
Russians
this.
anymore.
Just staring.
Oh,
Who's the
man.
Russian guy I'm thinking of?
I don't know.
I thought you left to think of him.
I was thinking deeply. I don't remember. I'll think of it. All right, let's move.
You have internets.
Barely,
Uh,
apparently.
Well, we're talking about shitty
Um,
heavyweights, Lance.
Oh God! All right, heavyweight division: Carlos Felipe, Justin Tafa. You, Sean?
What a
Another-
banger. What
Banger.
a banger.
Another pretty bad fight.
This is real bad.
It's beyond bad.
The crazy thing is these guys are a combined 13-2, so you'd think it'd be good, but it's just nowhere near that. When over 2.5 is like juiced, or it's close to
Even money,
pick 'em,
basically.
it's
When it
it's
is
not-
2.5.
It's not good.
When it is 2.5 for a heavyweight fight.
Yeah, that is
It's not
not a
good.
good sign. Hopefully one of these guys blesses us with a short night. I guess I'll take Carlos Felipe. Tafa, he's not good, and I mean, I guess he beat Adams, but that doesn't say much anymore. So I'll pick Felipe. It's another terrible.
Did that ever say much?
No. Man, he got a fight. He talked himself into a fight with Greg Hardy.
How'd that work out for him?
Not well. Lance is pretty frozen. It's good.
No, I'm here.
He's blinking.
Barely.
See if he's blinking. Is that-
Lance, I'm twice if you're okay.
He's
I'm,
deep in Google search right now.
He's
I'm
not
trying to-
finding this fucking Russian.
No,
Brad, is there going to be fatties here or what?
You know what? I don't think that Tafa is capable of fatties. I think he's too shitty at being a fatty to actually fatty. And then the other guy doesn't finish anybody though, so it's a real conundrum on this one. But
Tuffy.
man, like if I, gun to my head, if I had to play something, I think this probably goes under that 2.5. That just seems a little crazy since Tafa doesn't seem like he's got a very good chin on him. He definitely doesn't have good defense. And you know, this Felipe guy's he's a, by heavyweight standards, an acceptable boxer. So I think he lands something and puts Tafa out. But man, I wish this fight was going to be a whole lot shittier than like an entertaining shitty. You know, the kind of shitty we like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna try not to bet this fight, but I actually think it's dog or nothing here, man. Like Felipe is fucking terrible, dude. Like he is bad. He was getting beat by like Fat Boy last time until he just completely gassed out from beating his fucking dome in. Then he was just hanging on to him for like the third round. And what did Felipe do the whole time? He laid there complaining to the ref. Like the whole time. He didn't swing back. He was just complaining to the ref like he's holding me. He's holding me. He's fucking horrible, dude. The sad thing is the other dude is not great. So I can't bet him, but man, I have no clue how you could put money on Felipe here and have any kind of confidence in it. That guy is bad. I'm picking Tafa and Tout Master for sure. like I said, it's dog or pass here. And I kind of like the under. Brad probably talked me into that. If I bet anything, I'll probably sprinkle on the under. I think actually Tafa gets him with something. He does hit hard and shit. And Felipe just doesn't hit hard. I guess Brad's right. He's got some okay boxing, but man, that was just a sad sack shit fucking performance last time out. And I'm going to take the guy that's a little less slop, and I think he catches him, but probably look at the under. I think that's a good shot if you want to bet something.
That terrible piece of slop knocked out Tafa. So
I know, man. I know it's not good.
Yeah, this fight is really bad. I can't. The main card's good. The prelims are. It's not easy to find a bunch of bets on this thing, or really even interest. But Felipe is not very good. He stalls a little bit against the fence. He's just not very good. Tafa's equally terrible. I guess if I had to take a bet, I would take Tafa just because he's the dog. But there is nothing in this fight that gives me a good read on it. There's nothing in this fight that interests me. This is definitely filler. And this idea that any heavyweight fight is a good fight that fans somehow still have, watch this fight. just watch this fight. It's not going to be.
Brad's right. Be good. It's not even like shitty good to where we're going to enjoy it. It's shitty bad. If this gets into the third round, it's going to be some of the worst MMA you could ever watch.
Yeah,
Hooray for that.
Tafa,
I mean, speaking of the worst MMA you're ever going to watch, until we get to the next fight.
Let's get the 17-pound chicks.
This fucking.
What is Tafa by knockout anyway? What is Tafa by knockout? Just curious.
275.
No, that's not terrible.
Not bad.
If he wins, he's knocking him out. What's Tafa? What's Tafa round one?
It is
500.
500. Yeah.
I thought you didn't do this round one bets, huh, Lance? I thought you didn't do those.
It's getting itchy.
I don't. All right, let's move on to a great fight. I've never heard of these people. No kidding aside. Wu Yanan versus Joseline Edwards. All right, Sean.
Yeah, just another horrible fight. Yanan's lost 2 of her 3 fights in the UFC, including the shitty version of Gina Mazzani. And the chick she's fighting to get a UFC shot, it's a tough thing to do. She beat a 2-4 fighter.
Ooh, nice.
At UWC 22 Total War.
Brad, Turk's in for a lucky night because he might be getting double walked on Saturday.
Do you think they put it? Do you think they put this bad of a card on just because they're like, let's take MMA away from people for 4 weeks, and then the prelims will make the worst card imaginable and see if they watch.
Like, do you think that's what this is? Of how fucking degenerate are our fans?
We're gonna watch all of them.
And they
like heroin dealers. They're doing
a bunch of these. I'm going to be watching on my phone while I'm out with Turk.
I will be watching football with this shit on the other TV.
Yeah.
This shit's going on.
This is getting laptop treatment. These prelims.
I got fair.
I got a screen to put it on, but it's not going on the new fucking
good one.
Yeah,
the fucking good one.
The football. The football's going on the Mac Daddy.
Yeah.
I'll pick Yanan. I don't know. This is a fucking pick'em fight. That's crazy. I guess everybody's shitty, so whatever.
Yep. At least it's they put it earlier, so they're not going against the Buffalo-Baltimore game because that's the best game of the weekend. So that's good.
Which one will it be during?
I actually think
Packers.
No bias because I think we're probably going to lose, but the Bears and Chiefs could be just insane, man. Like the Browns. They're gonna score against KC, and Mahomes is gonna Mahomes. Like that game's gonna be fun.
It's fucking total in that game. Like
I would put it as the 4th best game of the weekend. I'm looking at the spreads.
Going by fun. Going
57.
Yeah, going by like how the game should play and shit.
It'll be high scoring. It'll be fun. Yes, it'll be back and forth.
But like the best games are like the Bills.
Baltimore Buffaloes.
That's the game.
Right.
Yeah, that is the game. Yeah.
I just really enjoy watching Josh Allen play quarterback. And then it's like, and then Lamar Jackson, for all his faults and everything with his throwing and everything like that, like that dude's fun to watch. Like he's just so electric. Like that 50-yard run he had the other day, it was like out of nowhere. But Josh Allen, man, that he's
the real.
I'm wrong a lot. I was so wrong about Josh Allen. Like the small college, big dumb guy. Like I'm watching this thing, he's overthrowing receivers by like 70 yards, and I'm like, okay, great. But he is incredible.
The improvement that he made from one season
last year,
on his pure accuracy is there's few you've ever seen be able to really do that, to get to improve their accuracy to where you can go from laughing stock like he was, like everybody was like that dude's never gonna make it, to fucking Pro Bowler. I like them. I think they're the team that give the Chiefs the most problems, in my opinion.
So like you always get, when you have all these online sports books, you get free bets just all the time. And like MGM, I think, gives me like $10-20 of free bets like every single week, $30 of free bets. Then you get them all places. For the last like month, I've just been taking every free bet I've had and just put it on the Bills. So I'm just working up this Bills. And then the last couple of weeks, I've been putting it on some of the Packers. And I have one that's like Packers versus Bills. So I'm just when I get to the championship games, I can just sit back and not bet any money and just watch my Bills and Packers, hopefully Bills and Packers futures. But this is a tough game this week for Buffalo, though. I mean, Baltimore's good, but man, he has so many weapons.
Hope for weather up there, because any kind of bad weather just slows Lamar a little bit. They need him slow.
Yeah. But they run the ball, though. They're a pound the rock team, and Buffalo is one of the worst rushing attacks in football. Should be interesting because Baltimore's not that great in their secondary. Anyway, enough football talk. Should we just skip the rest of this fight and just move on to the Phil Hawes fight?
This one chick sounds like it's our boy Steve Gregory talking about his aunt. It's Yanan. What are Yanan's house?
I'm picking Wu by decision.
Yep.
No bet.
No comment. They always say if you don't have anything, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all.
We often fall on this podcast.
This is where the card gets
very presidential of you there, Lance.
It is, yeah. I have 2 impeachments less than our current president.
Somebody tweeted out earlier. What was it? Impeachment to Breaking Boogaloo or something?
Electric.
Yeah, I laughed. That was pretty fucking good.
That is great.
It's gonna be great when that QAnon lunatic lady that got elected gets
the Georgia lady.
There's 2 of them.
The way George is especially dumb. The blonde.
The blonde's the real crazy one. Yeah,
it's gonna be hilarious. I love it.
She wore a mask that said "censored" on her thing. Like, how you gonna stuff your fat fucking face with cake with that mask on, you sheep?
While she's giving a speech in front of Congress that's being carried on national TV, she's so fucking censored.
Yeah. Poor lady.
I want to see what she brings. I want to see what she brings for impeachment for Biden. She said she's going to impeach him on the 21st.
Yeah, I'm sure she'll get all the votes. Yeah, I'm sure she'll get all of the votes. That's fucking phenomenal. Anyway, we don't need to go into that stuff.
Finally on the good fights.
This is where the card gets real. We get my boy Phil Hawes, and that's, we're pretty close in spelling. So I think that's his new nickname, Phil Hawes. Yeah. So, yeah, Phil Hawes taking on Nasaradudu Imavov. I don't know. This is the dude that went like to the death with Jordan Williams. But yeah, Phil Hawes here. The Hogs, Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised by this line. I know Phil Hawes has let us down in the past in some spots, but it seems like he's turned it around. On the Contender Series, he did what he had to do, and then he smashed that guy at 254. He does get hit a bit, which is a bit concerning, but I don't think this Imavov guy is the one to put him out. Like you said, he couldn't even finish Williams when he was in the UFC. So I like Phil Hawes here. I haven't bet him. I'm very, very bad at betting small favorites. so I've stayed away, but I might have to. It's got down to like minus 126. I'll probably play that for a unit.
Numbers or stats are for losers, John.
True.
Don't look
Very
at that.
true.
Bet with your heart. Do the research of me and Brad.
Don't even track the bets.
I was going to bet Hawes before I remember who this Russian dude was because he was Russian and Hawes has a big piece. That's how easy it is to bet MMA. Is it not that simple? Like, do you have to know who the Russian guy is?
It's pretty close to that simple.
It really is.
People make it a lot harder than it is. That's
it has to be. Yeah.
Tapes. Oh my God! I did 12 hours of tape study, and the fight was canceled between Jingliang and Bonnie Sanders.
I watched 6 hours of fights, and my bet on it is a pass. I'm just gonna pass on this.
I watched 6 hours of fights on these two 112-pound chicks that have like 4 career fights between them and are in the UFC somehow.
I watched 14 Bonnie Sanders fights. Oh my God.
Imagine watching all like 60 minutes of Yuhan Wu.
Fucking nerds, man. And if they want to like watch old fights, I wish they would just say, I'm going to watch old fights. When they take tape study, I get like physically sad. Not mad, not angry. I get like sad. It's like, I just want to give you a hug, man, because I know you're hurting inside. I know it's tough, man. Life's going to if you say I'm doing tape study, I promise you, life's going to get better. It's going to be okay.
You're going to get laid here eventually.
It's going to happen. You might think 32 is pretty old to be a virgin, but then you think of that movie with Steve Carell, and then he was getting it on, towards the end of that movie. So there's hope for you, man. So you watched old fights. Like if someone goes, what are you doing this weekend? Tape study. You don't have any friends anymore. Say you're going to watch some old fights. Just say it. I'm going to watch some old fights of the guys that are fighting this weekend. Way less of a loser. Anyway, I'll stop there. Brad, we got the giant black man with a 15-inch piece versus a Russian.
just go back and watch some entertaining old fights. I mean, you don't need to watch
No, tape study.
You need to watch the shit again.
Or you watch a CD grainy video of Bonnie Sanders' second career amateur fight, because that's going to tell you to bet on the giant black man with the giant piece.
I mean, I'm already reaching for the lube with that grainy videotape.
It takes me forever to get through Phil Hawes fights.
This Russian guy is another boring Russian. So that's going against him. He hasn't beaten a lot of good fighters. He beat a French-Canadian guy who has a decent record, and then a guy with diabetes. So it's not like he's out there just smoking good fighters. And Phil Hawes is an actual athlete. He's dangerous. He seems to learn how to manage his energy a little bit better. And this isn't some dude that's going to come out there and push a nutso pace on him. I think Hawes is going to be just fine. He probably gets him out of there early because I think he's capable of doing that against guys at this level. But even if he doesn't, I don't think that he's going to be in trouble in round 2 or 3 for a stoppage.
Yeah. Wes?
Yeah. This is just one of those that I don't know. I might end up being completely wrong, but I just it's a line that feels trappy, I guess you could say, because I don't really get it. It's come down quite a bit. I think almost 50 cents or so from the opener. Yeah, look, Phil Hawes went down to 365, and he's different, man. His striking's different. I think somebody said he used to, get hit quite a bit. He did. I know he hasn't had that many more performances since going down to 365, but man, his Contender Series win and his last time out, he looked as good as he ever has. And I think Brad's right too. Being at a gym that with coaches that know what they're doing and training partners, he manages his energy a whole lot more. I think some of that too with guys has a lot to do in between rounds with their corners and stuff too. Like some corners are just completely fucking horrible. You got your pregnant girlfriends with you, and other guys have, actual coaches that are common. I think Greg Jackson used to be very, very good at that, getting this guys just calm down in between rounds, not really giving them advice or anything, just calming them down. And just he's got coaches like that now. But man, this guy he's fighting literally went 3 rounds with, Brad's not joking. The guy's a diabetic. He literally he can't cut weight. So he's so undersized, man. And this dude couldn't even get him out of there. So I like Hawes a lot here. This is my entire card. If Hawes loses, then I'm going to have a down night. I don't see that happening. I think this is going to be kind of the coming out party for Hawes again, because it's on network TV, and I think he's going to show out.
This is on ESPN Plus.
Yeah, well, whatever.
You fucked it up. I remembered the Russian guy I was thinking of, Ankalev.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yep.
That's how bad Russia
boring
is.
too, though.
He can.
Be boring too.
He knocks guys out, though. He's a knockout fighter.
Yeah.
That's how bad the Russia's all over the UFC.
Really
There's a million fighters in the UFC, and it took me 4 hours to find only the second Russian who fights. Come on. The guys broke it down. I think Hawes found something. And I think sometimes it's not just a new camp, new coaches. Like, it's not what you're getting at the camp. I think sometimes guys just need to change the scenery. Whether you're getting something different, whether you're getting better coaches, better training partners, that may be it, or maybe it's not. And I don't know if it was the case. I just think Hawes had super high expectations. He lost a fight. He was down, and he needed to change the scenery. And I think sometimes it is as simple as that. MMA is a lot of mental. It's a lot of mental in there.
A lot of sports. A lot of sports.
Yeah, it is, especially
individual
sports. Individual sports, yes. And like anyone who's done one-on-one sports, combat sports, wrestling, anything like that, like you go onto the mat and you don't think you're going to win. You have no chance. I've had that a couple times. I'm defeated in those situations. Some I should have won, but it's part of it. So I think Hawes is just better. I think he's the bigger guy. He's the stronger guy. He has more power. I think he can keep this fight up, and I think he wins this fight rather easily. So the line's, I think, down to like minus 130. So at this point, it looks like a straight bet, and that is going to be the consensus bet of the week. First of the year is going to be Philip Hoggs and his 15-inch dong. Congrats. Let's now move on to the the main card version of it, as we have in the middleweight division, Punahele Soriano versus Dusky Toads. You, Sean?
The Serbian Dream. Get it right.
I think this is going to be a good fight. These guys have a little bit of hype behind them. They are kind of close to that top 10 if they can get or top 15 if they can get a big win at middleweight. Maybe I'm falling into the trap where he's like one guy's foreign, so I think he's better than he is. I think this is a somewhat close fight. Both these guys do get hit as well. So both these guys like to finish. I think Dusty Toads is a little bit better, but like I said, that could just be the foreign name giving it too much of an edge.
It ends in a V.
Ends in a V. That's but I thought maybe look at fight doesn't start round 3. I haven't played that, but both these guys are really good offensively. And can get hit a bit. So I think one of these guys can finish in the first 2 rounds. I'll pick the Dusty Toads to do it.
Yep. Brad?
I think this is actually a very good fight. And I think these two guys are probably both going to end up in the rankings at some point. It's just whoever wins this one is going to end up having a very good 2021. I don't know if it was the last performance or the guy he was fighting or whatever it was, but even though the Serbian Dream, Dusky Toads, was in complete control of that fight, I wasn't impressed with him in that fight. Like a guy like Daquan Townsend, you should be able to get out of there. At least with the Contender Series guy that the Puma man went to decision with, Pickett. Like we saw him be tough again when he fought the Teflon Don just before Christmas. So that's a guy that's actually tough to get out of there. So I just think that he's going to be Soriano. I'm saying here is going to be a little bit more aggressive. I think he hits harder, and that Contenders fight where Toads went for like 15 takedowns and didn't get any of them, I don't think he's got great wrestling. I think that Soriano might be able to get on top, and we saw what he did when he was on top of Pickett in that fight. He dropped some hammers there. So I like Soriano here. I think it might go to decision because I think this is competitive and both guys are good. So Soriano by decision is like 500, and I'm leaning towards that. I think you can go Wes.
Yeah, I'm up.
It's gone again.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what Brad said. Especially started off. I think both of these. There he is. Yeah, blink if you're still with. I think both of these dudes are pretty decent, and this fight pretty much is like Brad said. Both guys probably end up in the rankings eventually, but whoever wins this fight is going to have a good year and probably be, go a little bit further. I'm leaning Soriano too. I do think he hits harder. I think he's got a little bit better gas tank. Just kind of agree with a lot of what Brad said. I think he broke this down pretty good. Also, Lean, I think this probably goes a couple rounds, man. There's like a 1.5 that's really juiced. I don't want to lay anything like that. I don't have a book yet that has any kind of 2.5, but I think this might go a couple rounds. But yeah, no bet for me. But if I was to play anything, it'd be Soriano at the dog price.
Yeah, I like Soriano here. There's something about this kid. I don't know what it is. Like I looked at his first, his performance on Contender Series. In his first fight, he got a quick win versus okay guy, not the worst fighter of all time, Pahota. But yeah, I like he has some good hands. He's young. He's very athletic. I like this kid. I think he's a little bit better on the feet. I think he's got more power. And I think as an underdog, it's worth a shot. I'm not a big believer in the Serbian Dream, Dusky Toads. Pretty good. Yeah, not too bad. So yeah, I like him here. I just think I think Soriano's better. I think he's just the better fighter. So I'm gonna take Soriano here as well. This was close to Munich, but we ended up ultimately not making it Munich. Let's now go to the middleweight division.
We had to go with the first fight of the year.
Yeah, it makes more sense. Let's now go to the middleweight division as we had Joaquin Buckley taking on Alessio de Chirico. You, Sean?
Wes and I have talked about this in the past. We think that Buckley is definitely fade material. I did it very, very small with the old Beverly Hills Ninja.
Me too.
Did okay until the inevitable happened. Chirico's not good. Chirico is not good, so I don't think he's the guy to do it. I was hoping they were going to make the Krause fight because I think that's a guy that could cash against Buckley, but I think he wins here, probably knocks out Chirico, and hopefully does it spectacularly so we can get an even better number on fading him next time.
Why is Chirico getting a chance to get a fourth straight loss? And why is Buckley after two phenomenal knockouts?
It's a short
How many times did we do over this?
Yeah, it was short notice, I think, too, and he stepped up on a couple weeks or something like that for Buckley to knock out. So yeah,
good for him. All right, Brad.
Yeah,
I didn't even know this was all that short notice. Like nothing got canceled, right?
I think it was just late announcement of the fight.
Yeah,
company.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe something like it hasn't been put together for long, a few weeks or a month, maybe something like that.
Yeah. Either way, I struggle to understand how Chirico is the same price against Buckley that absolute fraud Jordan Wright was. Sean, I know you said that he did all right in the first round, but almost died. Almost died
at the end. He died right before the end.
And then really died in his corner when they said
he should have died the first time.
So yeah, Chirico is better than that guy, and he's tough to finish. He's never been knocked out. The only guy that stopped him is the god Eric Spicely subbed him back in the day. And I'm not really sure that I see Buckley getting rid of him here. Buckley's got power, obviously, but he's got power against bad guys, and he's got power in weird situations. Like, you're not going to do the weird jumping, spin, enziguri bullshit ever again in your career. So I think he's going to win this fight, but I think it's going to go to decision. So I'm looking at like Buckley decision is around plus 300.
Damn.
West.
Yeah, Sean's right. That come on, man. We've seen this even with Holland. We watched how a guy that can fight a little bit can do Buckley. I was on the fraud of Jordan Wright too, because I just think Buckley is that much of a fade. Chirico's not the guy. Like Brad said, he's a little bit better, right? You know, he's a little tougher, harder to finish. I think Buckley probably gets him out of there eventually, though. But if Chirico can get this into the second, a little later in the second round, Buckley slows down, pretty bad. But man, this ain't Chirico's not the guy. I think Buckley probably gets him out of there in the second round or so. So Buckley by KO. If I was betting anything, he'll definitely be the pick. I'm gonna get a big fade. Sean's right. I hope he gets another highlight reel knockout, and they give him another Holland-like fighter. I'm gonna get paid.
Zach Cummings is a beast, George. I will have you know. That doesn't count.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna bet this yet. Like, I usually don't bet until Fridays. I wait till the weigh-ins and see if people are actually going to fight before I actually bet. So I got to see where Hawes is at, and if he goes back up, I don't know, because Hawes is still like minus 135, or some of the
just
sports
lay it, Lance.
So I'm either gonna lay it, or I was thinking about putting Buckley in. I can't see Buckley losing this fight. I just cannot see him losing this fight. So I still got to figure some things out. That power is real, and I think what's also real is a guy like that's confidence. It makes everything with a guy like Bucky. He's not the greatest fighter ever. He's not amazing, but he just has this thing right now. He's confident. He's feeling it. And sometimes, like we just talked about, it's a mental game. And Buckley just feeling himself right now. And Chirico, they're putting this fight on ABC. He's fighting a guy that he's going to style on. And I think Chirico is going to be, maybe he's a little bit more wilder. He has to win this fight. He has to win this fight or he's cut. And desperation kind of leaves you open at times. And he's not going to his style is win boring decisions, and that's not going to work. And I think Chirico kind of gets after him a little bit, and I think he's going to get countered, and I think he's going to put out. And if I end up if I bet Hawes straight, I might be betting Buckley inside the distance, opposite of Bradley. It's plus money right now, and I think more times than not, this fight is going to end inside the distance, and Buckley's hand's going to be raised. And I think at plus 110, that's not bad. That's pretty good value for a guy who's 3-1 in this fight, and he wins most of his fights by knockout. So not the worst. So I like Buckley here inside the distance. Moving up, good fight here. Welterweight division. The main card's great. Santiago Ponzinibbio versus Li Jingliang. First fight for Ponzi in a while. Pretty excited. You, Sean?
Yeah, it's been 26 months.
Has it really?
Yeah. 26
Book!
months.
That's a long time.
He knocked out Neil Magny in a main event in November of 2018.
Why was he out so
on a crazy win streak, looking good, and disappears.
And then he's had a bunch of injuries and I believe surgeries and stuff like that. I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel on this card, looking for bets. Jingliang struggles when guys are going to go for takedowns. I don't think Pontoon Boat's going to go for takedowns here, and this is going to be a striking fight. In a striking fight, I think it's a little bit closer. Ponzinibbio is very, very, very good. He has huge power. I think there's only been like one win or one fight where he hasn't knocked down a guy. But 26 months at 34 years old, I had to sprinkle. I put a half a unit on Jingliang.
I didn't know all about that. I thought it was a year. I feel like I'm not even like this last year is just like
doesn't count. Doesn't count, Lance.
Like so many guys didn't fight during 2020 that I guess you don't really think about it, but god damn.
Yeah.
That's a long time off. Anyway, Bradley.
Yeah, I think for me it doesn't feel that long because that was one of the last like fight night type of cards that I actually remember watching before I just disappeared into the ether. So then, I came back and then he came back, 9 months later. So it doesn't seem like it's that long away for me either. But the thing that is significantly different is the level of competition that these two guys have fought. I mean, you've got a guy that's been in multiple main events against top 10 guys, has done very well in those fights. And then you've got Lil Jingliang, China Goat. We are Lil Jingliang fans. Even when he remixes stuff, still fans. But he's a China Goat. He's not. That doesn't mean he's good.
He's not a real goat.
Exactly.
There's a reason that we specify China Goat when we say that. I think that he is going to get smoked in this fight. He's got real bad defense, and this is not the guy to have real bad defense again. Yeah, against Ponzi's going to pull some Bernie Madoff shit on him, and Lil Jingliang not going to know where he woke up.
Yeah,
Wes.
He's definitely rolling up in the pontoon boat and pulling a Ponzi scheme. Yeah, look, Brad's right. We call him China Goat for a reason. Look, Jingling's had some decent wins, man, but this is just the wrong guy. I just think it's the matchup, man. He does everything Jingling does, just better. He hits harder. I mean, Ponzi's he's good, man. You're banking a lot on a layoff, I think, in this fight. If you're picking or betting Jingliang, I think you're just you got to be, because man, this guy was just on a tear leading up to the injuries and stuff that he's had. But if he's right, man, I don't think this is close, and I don't think he'd be coming back, if he wasn't ready. So I like Ponzi a lot here, and I got him in a parlay with another guy on the card.
Yeah, it's obviously a long layoff, as we know. But I think matchup-wise, the Leech is going to come right at him. He throws wild punches. He throws wide punches. He's open for the counter. And that is not a good matchup. Like, take out like everything else with Ponzi, the layoff, and everything else. That's like a tailor-made matchup for one of those really fun Ponzinibbio, just because he has pretty clean boxing for a guy with just big power and a big dude. Like, he has a very clean right hook, and I think the Leech is just going to walk into one. He's going to be throwing wild. He's going to charge him. I kind of see him charging when Ponzinibbio is kind of back towards the fence and just eat a clean shot and be kind of face plant. Like, that's what I keep picturing there. So I do like Ponzinibbio. 26 months is goddamn, but I just think style-wise, this is kind of a good fight for him. I think the only worry is, like, if he hasn't been hit in a while, right? And the Leech does have pretty decent power. I just don't think it's the power that's going to deal with it. Ponzinibbio has never shown anything with a bad chin, anything like that. That chin, if anything, gets better if he had any issues. So I like Santiago here, and I think he's gonna knock him out pretty quick. I think this is gonna be a very fun 3 minutes. I do think he's gonna get hit. I do think he's gonna hit. I think he gets clipped just because Jingliang just runs at you like a motherfucker. So I think that's what's gonna happen. But we'll see. It should be a fun fight. This next fight, if anyone tells me they have a good feel for the co-main event, they're lying, because you can't. Welterweight division, the ghost of Carlos Condit versus the ghost of Matt Brown. What a fight. New Sean.
I got a great feeling on this fight.
Over.
No.
You're going to say over.
No, I don't. Both these guys are pretty washed. I know one's coming off a win, one's coming off a loss, and I was more impressed with the guy who lost than the guy who won and was not looking the greatest against Court McGee.
You look excellent there.
Court
I don't know what you're talking about, sir.
I mean, did you see that man schnoz by the end of that fight?
That still was not great.
Didn't even just take it in once.
Nope.
Perfect.
Yeah, because fucking Court McGee paid Court McGee not to fucking shoot.
Well, I mean, this is the same guy. He probably got worried about it this time.
Yeah,
Matt Brown
great.
might take him down.
No chance.
No way.
He might do it.
They're throwing down, dude.
They could throw down, but
They will.
Matt Brown could also take down
No
Carlos Condit half knocked out.
It's like his last fight, dude.
On
Yeah,
purpose?
Matt Brown's 40 years old. He's in the career. You think he wants to? You think he's fighting Carlos Condit, a guy who just wins a war?
No way. No.
No, he's coming in biting on that fucking mouthpiece. That's what Matt Brown's doing. That's all I know for sure.
You're not the only one I've heard say that, Sean, in your defense, but this is Matt Brown we're talking about.
That is how bad Carlos Condit's takedown defense is.
What?
Is Matt Brown can take him down. I think it's a close fight. I really don't think much of Carlos Condit at 36 years old. I know Matt Brown's 40. He looked okay against Miguel Baeza, and I think fairly highly of Miguel Baeza. So I put a unit on Brown at plus 144. I think it's a close fight, and you give me a little bit of dog odds, I'll risk a bit on it.
Yeah. Brad, tell him why he's wrong.
Usually I look for any excuse to play a dog. But man, fighting has done to Matt Brown's chin what heroin did to his liver. I mean, he can't really take a shot all that well anymore. And I know Condit didn't look great in his last fight, but the stuff that he landed, I think, is enough to get a 42-year-old Matt Brown out of there. And it's going to be fun. I think it might be dicey a bit in the first round, but Brown also doesn't seem like he's got 3 rounds left in him anymore. So I think Carlos gets this done inside the distance, and we all have a little bit of fun, and hopefully one or both of these guys retires.
No, Carlos Condit's going on a title run.
He should have beat GSP, man.
We're only getting plus 165 on Condit inside.
Yeah, I know.
6 years since he's finished a guy.
I know. You think we would get
That's why
way
you
better
get a
than
better
plus
price.
175. I thought we get like plus 350. But
Yeah,
Matt Brown,
so I haven't.
Matt Brown literally cannot take a shot. Brad's right. Wes, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, the Condit that fought last time out, even though he didn't look great or something, that beats Matt Brown. I mean, come on, and I don't think Matt Brown is shooting for takedowns here. I mean, this is probably his last fight. He's going out on his shield, man. I cannot see him shooting takedowns. And even if he does, it ain't like Matt Brown's some great wrestler. And Condit did fairly well against Court McGee last time.
He shot 0 takedowns.
I
He
mean,
didn't even stuff one.
Because he was scared, son.
He was getting his shit pieced in. Then he got his beak broke, put onto the side of his face, and he wasn't thinking about nothing.
The thing is about wrestling here is that Matt Brown does a lot of like body lock sort of shit when he goes for takedowns, and that's the one area where Condit is somewhat
because he's tall.
Serviceable.
He uses his fucking how tall he uses that good for them body locks and shit, man. He gets fucking taken down by a fucking trips and shit, and Matt Brown doesn't do a lot of that. His chin's done, man. I think Condit can still take some punches. And Brad's right. It's going to be fun for a round. I think Matt Brown is going to land. He landed. Sean's right. He landed on Baeza a little bit, but I mean, it wasn't like he was ever going to, I don't see him knocking out Condit in the first round. I just don't see that. So I'm more of I think this probably gets a little sloppier, and Condit gets kind of a 29-28 decision, 30-27. I parlayed money line with a pontoon boat at a little bit of plus money. So, I like Condit here.
So we forgot an obvious one earlier. Carlos Condit lost 5 straight in the UFC before beating Court McGee.
It was only 5, though. It wasn't 7.
Right. It was right there in front of us. Holy shit.
So,
and come on, the Lawler fight, really? And the Woodley fight, that doesn't count. That was a knee injury.
Yeah, he won all those. Yeah, he won those. So huge Carlos Condit guy. I've been a Carlos Condit guy for a long time. Love his fights. Always think he's gonna win. Always bet him, always lose. He's been great to me. What I watched in that first round of the Court McGee fight, was bad. It was scary. He got a little bit better in round 2 and 3. He started landing some shots and he looked good, but I don't know, man. Condit looked so washed in that first round that if he comes out like that, I do think Matt Brown finishes him. That wouldn't surprise me at all. Condit's chin's gone too. There's no chins here. This is a chin-free cage. No chins allowed. Can't have it. I wouldn't be surprised either way. I wouldn't be surprised at anything in this fight. I wouldn't be surprised if Matt Brown gets him out of there early. I wouldn't be surprised if Matt Brown gets him out of there second round. I wouldn't be surprised if Condit gets him out of there in all 3 rounds. I also wouldn't be surprised if Matt Brown won a decision. And I wouldn't be surprised if Carlos Condit won a decision. That's kind of my feeling on this fight. I think that's how you break it down. Anything can happen here. I'm just going to sit back. Now, if I'm way up, I'm probably going to throw some donk bet on Condit. We all know that. But I'm passing on this fight. I'm just going to sit back and watch this. These are 2 really fun fighters who I don't think are at the level where it's going to be like watching BJ Penn fight. I still think it's going to be fun. But yeah, I have no idea what happens here. Let's move on to the main event here. We took a lot longer than expected. So let's try to wrap this by 1 hour 30. So we got 6 minutes here. Featherweight division, Max Holloway, Calvin Kattar. Great main event. Definitely title aspirations for both these guys. Great fight. You, Sean?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really, really good fight. I think it's a close fight. Calvin Kattar feels like a 5-round fighter. Some of the fights as he's come up short on, he was pouring it on in the third. So it's not like Max is not a 5-round fighter, but I think he will show his true talent through 5 rounds. I think he has pretty big power. I just think this is a close fight. I like the way that Kattar fights. He throws
John's distracted
unorthodox
because the
stuff.
Oilers just got scored on.
I know. He throws unorthodox stuff, and I think he has big power. So I think he can hit Max. We've seen Max when he does get hit by some bigger guys with some decent power. It's a bit of a game changer. So I think it's a close fight. I put 2 units on Kattar at plus 157.
Brad, Max only being 29 just weirds me out because I feel like he's already at the phase of his career where people are like, Max is washed. Like he's 29.
He fought Dustin Poirier 9 years ago.
The fight game's tough.
I think he's kind of on almost like an Aldo arc because Aldo was like 30 and
started getting watched.
All those wars and shit.
Yeah, well, I mean,
the difference is that Aldo never really had the ability to go a hard 5 rounds, and Max still has that, and that's going to help.
Yep. I agree.
As far as this fight, I think that Kattar is good. He's one of the better boxers in MMA, and he's pretty good at keeping fights there. I just think he struggles when he gets to guys that can do more than just box. He's going to be able to light up Jeremy Stevens, even though he boxes and throws shitty leg kicks. But when you get to guys that can actually move, that's where he starts to struggle. Moicano made him look kind of silly in that fight just by moving around and leg kicking him. And Zabit, who I hate, was able to move around and give him some trouble in that. One of those shitty Russians.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, a shitty Russian. I think Holloway is going to do a lot of the same stuff. I think that Holloway is probably going to get hit quite a bit in this fight because Kattar's going to line up some shots on him. But it's not like this is a guy that just gets put away. Everyone points to, oh man, he took such a beating in the Poirier fight. He came back and won rounds in that fight after getting absolutely demolished early. So I don't think that Kattar is going to be able to get him out of there. And I also don't think Kattar is going to be able to be the type of guy who can just pile up rounds on Max in this fight because he's not going to have the cardio advantage. So I like Max. I think he probably takes the decision here just by being a little bit more well-rounded and maybe even getting into inside and getting a little dirty if need be.
I think this is a really, really close fight, a really good fight. most know how big of a Kattar fan I am. Also a huge Max fan, but yeah, I don't think Max is anywhere near washed. I just think, Volkanovski ended up being like a bad matchup for him because he just doesn't do any fucking thing, but that's for another day. I like Kattar in this fight. I just think because he could have some fight changing power to where I don't think Max does. I think there is the possibility that Kattar can land something on Max that could hurt him. I don't think Max has that. He's never really had that, even in his more prime. But I'm gonna take the plus money here. I think it's a close fight. I think it's gonna go 5 rounds. Sean is right about one thing that's really important. Kattar is shown to be he's improving going into the 3rd round. So I'm ready to see him and go 4 or 5 rounds here. Like I said, really close fight. I'm gonna take a small shot on the plus money. Would I be surprised if Max wins a close decision here? Absolutely not. He's one of the all-time greats, but great fight. Looking forward to it. Small shot on the dog.
Yeah, I think this line's actually short on Max. I think it's a good bit short. I think the whole Max is washed, and I think, Wes, to your point, Volkanovski just makes everyone look boring. And when you look boring in fights like that and highly televised, pay-per-views and main events and all this stuff, I think you can confuse boring with washed.
I thought Max won the second fight.
I thought he did too. So but it was close, and it wasn't like I would call it a robbery or anything like that. But I just think that's what Volkanovski does, and I think people are confusing Max going up in weight foolishly, I might add, and losing to Poirier. And Poirier's one of the best in the world at 155. Max almost won that fight. That was a very close fight. Max looked great in that fight, and then he loses a couple super close decisions to Volkanovski. This is still Max to me. This is the same Max. Guys get worse as they get older and they get a lot of fights under their belt, but I still think Max is Max.
Oh, Lance. He
Max
went too
is
long.
Max.
It was over an hour and a half. He got timed out.
Jeez. Terrible.
So Lance likes Max. I guess. There he is.
I'm back.
There we go.
I want a new name of a site immediately. I don't know what this thing does to my computer, but it doesn't like me. I did an internet speed test. It was like 125. It doesn't make any sense. All right. Anyway, I like Max here. I think he's going to pressure him. I think he's going to do, like Brad said, more than just straight box him. He moves around a lot. He's going to circle. He's going to make Calvin Kattar work. He's not going to sit in the pocket and box with him because that's not a fight that Max wins. Max is a smart fighter. And I think he's just the better all-around fighter here. And I don't know, there's certain moments where I think Calvin Kattar is just amazing. And he can beat anyone. His boxing is so good. And even certain moments in the Dan Ige fight, and I was huge on Kattar in that fight. And I was like, what is this dude doing? There's certain moments with Kattar. I don't know what it is that sometimes I think he's the best ever. And sometimes I'm thinking, man, you're looking Dan Ige look pretty good here. So he kind of confuses me at times. And we saw the Moicano fight. And there's certain rounds he just doesn't look himself. And you can't really take a round off of Max. And I think we don't know what Kattar's going to look like late. I know everyone kept saying, like, in the Zabit fight, like, if this is 5 rounds, Kattar kills him. And maybe in that fight, yes. But we don't know if Kattar has this crazy gas tank in a fight like Max, who's going to push and move and move and move. You got to chase Max down. And I think Max is the fresher guy. I think the first 3 rounds are very close. I think Max pulls away in round 4 and round 5. Don't think we see a finish here, but I think we see a dominant victory by Max. And weirdly enough, this gets Max right in title contention if Volkanovski loses. I think we should strip Volkanovski. No one wants to see him fight. He's boring. He doesn't fight very often. He seems kind of like a douchey bro.
We strip him. How about we say that?
Like cut him, cut Zabit. Let's just clean this division up. Make it great again. 2024.
Chad Mendez and Lance Palmer, baby.
Mendez.
There you go.
Mendez gets a rematch soon. Frankie, after Frankie beats Sandhagen at 135, he's going to go up, take the belt at 145, go back, and then take the belt from Jan at 135. Double champ.
Ooh, you're in for a sad day, Lance. That is going to be a sad
day
day for you.
155 doesn't have a champ right now, too, Lance. What if he comes up and fights?
Triple champ.
What if he fights Edgar de Bronx?
Oh,
We already saw it. Edgar beat his ass.
But now.
I don't think it would be competitive now. I don't think that'd be a good fight for old Frank. But yeah, Frank's gonna put the beating on that kid, Corey Sandhagen.
Oh my goodness.
Boy,
Great.
You're off in a.
Lance is gonna make a donation in that fight.
Duh. I am. I will. I always do. I like when Frankie fought who did he beat the shit out of? Pedro Munoz.
Yes.
That was a donation too, Sean. What's up?
No, Frankie the shitty Mexican. Oh boy. You talk about a fun night. Holy shit.
Oh yeah.
Who was that again? Fuck, what's his name? Didn't they cut him after that? Brought him back.
Yair. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yair. Oh my goodness.
That was the greatest even
That
money
was
fight
amazing.
of all time.
Yep.
All time.
Still can't believe it.
Lance is frozen again.
Lance frozen again.
Yeah.
Look, again, he's like,
Absolutely. if anybody wants to sign up for Toutmaster,
Yeah.
Gamma Master, you can email Jeremy at admin at thegamblememaster.com.
Or message any of us and we'll
Message any of us.
we'll figure it out we'll get it in touch for you.
yeah,
Yep.
hey, do it as soon as possible though. So
Yeah.
Yes.
getting sheets out.
Like right fucking now while you're
You know.
listening to this, if you haven't done it already, like me.
Yeah. Sweet. Well, I'm gonna say goodbye before it cuts out again. But Sean, figure something else out.
I will
sucked.
have to. You make me do a lot of things, Lance. This is
It doesn't.
unfortunate.
That's only like when we're drunk in Vegas at 2 a.m. You don't have to discuss that with other people. Anyway,
My bad.
thank you for listening. Glad to be back. We got some fights. We'll be back Monday and Wednesday.
Thursday.
Apparently, Monday, Thursday. Get the extra day. Brad, you need to do something.
I need to get a haircut.
That's pure.
It's
that's
in lockdown.
that's twisted steel and sex appeal, baby.
you need to get some shit done.
Yes, I need a haircut. Real bad.
Yeah. All right, guys.